Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I want to do is I want to talk about the reality and truth into the JFK assassination. Now, for the past 12 years, you know, I've been doing my investigations into this case. And in the same time, I started presenting a lot of my evidence that I've uncovered as I was going through my investigation. But I still get a lot of heat from it because there's still a lot of people that says, no, I'm wrong about my research because, the assassin was behind a picket fence area, the mob was behind it, or this person behind it, and Oswald being a patsy and everything else. The reality part about that is there is no evidence to back up any of the claims that was ever made into the JFK assassination whatsoever. Okay, they'll tell us the story, or they'll present a person that's like a so-called eyewitness and present that case. Okay, but there's still nothing to prove or nothing to show as physical evidence or anything else as well. This is why a lot of stories that's told in the JFK assassination is just basically based on what people says about about this case. However, but when we look at reality now, okay, and just like my research, okay, I'm not sit here like everybody else does and tell you another story, okay? I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, the gunman is in this location here, so you have to believe me, okay, into a story, all right? If I had no evidence, okay, that's what I would say. But actually, if I didn't have no evidence, you probably wouldn't even heard of me or even knew any of this research because the type of research I do, I find evidence to present. Okay, if there's no evidence to present, I won't even talk about it or go into it. That's why when I do my research, okay, like when I found a gunman in shelter number 3, okay, and the reason why I didn't present and show this first image up front because I wanted to make sure that I had other images to back that up as well, and plus testimonies and stuff like that. For instance, we're going to take a look at the Mary Mormon photo. Okay, now they claim the assassin took his shot from here, in this location here, which they call the so-called badge man right here, in this location here. But what is the evidence? Is there anybody there? Can we actually see somebody there? No, we can't. Okay, and they use this as evidence. Okay, and then they also says, well, the assassin was behind a picket fence area, and the assassin right here, you can see the assassin was in here, but they actually point out mostly the badge man, which is over in this location. Okay, but you have to look in reality now. Now, in reality, okay, anybody from this point here on back behind that picket fence area cannot take a shot to JFK in this location. Here's the reason why. If they took a shot to JFK from this point here, if you watch my cursor from this point here on back, they would end up striking this wall because they could not see JFK from this point here to back. When you're behind a picket fence, you cannot see JFK or even the spot where he was at because remember, he's sitting down in the car and they're up on a hillside here. So any shots where you fire from this point to back here, they would have to be on a ladder, whether it's a 10-foot ladder or a 12-foot ladder, 16-foot ladder. They would have to be on top of that ladder to take a shot to get a clear view to JFK from this point to this point. They would actually have to be on a step ladder way up in the air to be able to get a clear shot to JFK from that location. Now, from this location, this point here, to this point here, if you watch my cursor, as you see, there is nobody there. There is nobody there. Even in this Zapruder film, when Mr. Zapruder started filming here, you can see this whole corner area here, and you see there is nobody there. But there's people claim that there's a assassin behind a picket fence area when there's no evidence, there's no proof. Just like when they said the badge man being this location. The badge man, like I pointed out, see how the fence line comes down right here, right? And just imagine the fence line, when you look at it from this distance, is going all the way down here, okay? A man would have to stand on top ladder. When we're looking at reality now, a assassin would have to stand up on top of a ladder. If you start from this point to this point here, he would have to be on top of a ladder or up inside this tree here to actually get a clear shot of JFK because you cannot see from this location, all the way back through here from the picket fence area, you're not going to be able to see JFK, period. And from this point to this point over here, which is to this corner of the picket fence, all the way down on this side of Elm Street, you can see that there is no assassins in that area. Okay, so see, we're looking at reality now, and we're looking at evidence. Okay, we can see there was no way a gunman could be behind a picket fence area to take a shot to JFK, point blank, period. There's no way. But there is two assassins can be seen in a Mary Mormon photo, and they're right over here, as I pointed out in my research and everything else. In this image, a Mary Mormon photo, as you see, I zoomed in all the way. We can see one gunman here, and we can see his rifle sticking up right here. We can see another gunman right here, and his rifle sticking out of the window right here. We can clearly see this. Okay, no photoshops or anything else. This is the FBI's copy of the Mormon photo, and we can see clearly a gunman's rifle sticking out here. He's looking out here at the top window. We can see the other assassin right here with his rifle, with his barrel of his rifle sticking here. That's why I went ahead and colorized the image so you can actually get more details. So when we zoom in, okay, we can see the barrel of the rifle right here, and we see the barrel of the rifle right here of this gunman, and their hands clutching the rifle. Now, also want to point out when we look at this as well. As you see in this image, excuse me, I got to sneeze. Bless me. But anyway, as you see in this image here, like I pointed out, from this point here back to here, when we look at a color now, when you're looking at black and white, you got all you're looking at is black and dark image. That's all you're looking at, black, dark image and white image. Okay, and there's nothing to separate. Okay, you couldn't tell the difference between the sky and the trees, or shadows in the trees, or the limbs, or anything else. But when you colorize the image, you can pull out more detail, as you see here. From this point here to this point here, assassin would have to be up on a ladder to have a clear shot over this wall, retaining wall right here. And as you see from this point to this point here, we can see daylight all the way through here. And there's no assassins there. Okay. And this was taken right at the same time exact after he took his shot. This is when JFK's head opened up and Mary Mormon took her image. And as you see right here, there is no way there is a gunman that took a shot from behind the picket fence area, especially the fatal headshot. We can see the assassins in this image right here in shelter number 3, right behind Mr. Zapruder. So now we have two assassins. We can see them with rifles there. But we also have more evidence to pile on top of that as well. We have the Orville Nix film that shows a shot being fired from the window. Okay, we line this frame up, the Orville Nix film frame up with the Zapruder frame, and frame 313 of the Zapruder film lines up with this frame here from the Orville Nix film. Same as for the second shot right here from the side of the shelter. Okay, line this up, and we can see, and this lines up with frame 330 of the Zapruder film. Now, Zapruder film shows a bullet impact into Governor Connolly's back. The angle of this shot from this gunman lines right to Governor Connolly, and we can see him find his rifle and everything else. And then we have the Darnell image, which shows a side view, and we can see the assassin right here still aiming the rifle right here. So see, what I'm talking about here now is, in reality, in the Mormon photo, we see two assassins with rifles. In the Nix film, we see two shots being fired from that window in the side of the shelter. Okay, and in a Darnell film, we see the gunman still aiming his rifle. We see both gunmen, but one of them still aiming his rifle. Now I'm going to show you some frames here. This is from the Bronson film. Okay, this is a flash right here, being fired right here. And then in the next frame, as soon as it pulls up, we can see the puff of smoke right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in motion now, a video I made that shows that shot being fired. Okay, there's a shot, there's a smoke. Shot, smoke, shot, smoke, shot, smoke. I'm slowing it down. Shot, then the smoke. And you see it's all dark in this area right here. And you get that one flash right there. That flash right there. That's gunfire. And then the smoke come right there. And Mr. Spruder and Mrs. Sessman standing right here. So see, this is from the Bronson film. Okay. Like a, excuse me, I need to take a drink here. I'm getting dried out. Like I said, the evidence I present, okay, are photographic evidence. I tell you a location because in that location we have photographic evidence to show two gunmen with rifles in their hands. Two gunmen firing their rifles from that location. We pinpoint these locations of where these bullets made contact with. It was the fatal headshot to JFK. And the shot to Governor Connally as he was turning to his left, as he claimed. Just like when we look at that fatal headshot, JFK was shot in the right side of the temple. He's moving to his left. He's not moving back and to the left as they portray it, because that's a false story. That's not reality. Okay, the reality to the assassination of JFK, he was shot in the right side of the head. His head exploded open. He was going to the left. That's called reality, because we can see that in the films and images. And all the films and images, they all line up. JFK's right side of his head opened up, not the back side of his head opened up. Now, again, we're going right back to that story there. People's claim in reality, in their claims, JFK had a big old hole in the back of his head. His head exploded outward, okay? But in reality now, we can see the back of his head still all intact. Yeah, there's two bullet holes can be seen in the back of JFK's head. And this was part of his skull right here attached to his scalp right here. The right side of JFK's head opened up because we could see this in the Zapruder film. We can also see in the Mormon photo as well. Now remember, this is after the shot. And see the back of JFK's head is still intact, which I'll zoom in. As you see, JFK, back of his head still intact. There's no bullet, big blowed out hole like everybody claimed. Okay, the reality is there was no frontal shot and there was no blowout hole in the back of JFK's head as they portrayed, because we see the films, we see the images, and they all line up with one another. Okay, the right side of JFK's head is open up, which we see in this image here, this autopsy image right here, autopsy photo. Right side of JFK's head open up, as we see in the Zapruder film and we see in other images and other films. JFK did not get a frontal shot where he went back and to left as they claimed. Okay, the right side of JFK's head opened up. That's reality into this case. And what I show you is the reality part of this case. I show you JFK's head open up on the right side. I show you in the Zapruder film, showing you images. I'm showing you autopsy images showing the right side of JFK's head open up, but the back side of his head is still intact. Same as I show you in the Mary Mormon photo, where you can see JFK's head is still intact and back is just his right side of his head opened up. Okay, everything I'm telling, everything I'm saying, I'm showing photographic evidence to back it up. Just like when I said the fatal headshot came from this window here, not only I show you the Orville Nix film and in the Bronson film that shot, but look at here. We can actually get to zoom in. We can actually see the rifle fire here, the sparks coming down, and we see the rifle right here, and we see the assassin's head right here. Okay, we can see that through that window. Okay, this is what people don't understand. Everything that I present, I'm showing photographic evidence. I said there's a gunman on the second floor of the county records building. I show you a Bell film frame that shows an assassin hanging out the window holding a rifle in his hand right here. Okay. Then I show you right there. After I show you that, then I show you an image, which is from the Hughes film. As soon as it pulls up here, here we go. This is from the Hughes film showing a shot being fired from that window. Same gunman, same location, and everything else. I show this, and then I show you where that bullet made contact with, which was the back of JFK's head. Right here. It struck JFK in the back of the head by frame 229. And then you can see by the reaction by JFK's head I mean, this shot here, he's like this, and all of a sudden, when he got shot in the back of the head, he goes like this, right into his hand stuff, as you see in the Zapruder film. So everything that I'm pointing out and everything I'm talking about and everything I'm showing with photographic evidence, and I'm explaining what is in these photos and what is in these images. Okay, I sit there and I said, well, there's a gunman on the rooftop of the county records building. Okay, and here's his images right here. Here's his images. And if you watch my other videos and stuff like that, you'll see where he's coming down, takes aim, takes a shot with that rifle. Okay, everything that I said, I claim. Okay, everything that I claim, I'm showing physical photographic evidence to back it up. Just like when I sit there and talk about the manhole cover shot. Okay, I point out in Zapruder film. Here's shot the struck side of the manhole cover. We can see this in the Zapruder film. Okay, then I show in this location here another shot striking because we see a piece of concrete flying upward and we've got disturbance in the corner here. And then I show a location where a bullet was retrieved, because in the Zapruder film we see the bullet ricocheting upward and the bullet landed right in this location here. And we can actually see a Secret Service agent picking up a bullet right here. That's lying in the grass area. Okay, everything that I'm saying to you, I got photographic evidence to back up, as this is just a little bit of it. Just like even when I sit there and I make a statement that the assassin was right in this location here, not only I'm showing you the gunman with rifles in the hands and firing the rifles from that location, but I'm also giving you eyewitness accounts that backs it up as well. Mr. Zapruder said the assassin was right behind him. Here's Bill Newman, said the shots came from directly behind him. What's behind Mr. Newman? Because we see Mr. Newman right here. What's directly behind him? Shelter number 3. What's right behind Mr. Zapruder? Shelter number 3. Okay, everything lines up. Then when I put out my time frames and everything else, everything that I present is based on photographic evidence. It's not a story made up. All I'm doing is telling you the story that we see in the films and images, especially when we line them all up. Okay, I'm presenting that as evidence because that's evidence, because that's reality, that's fact, and that's the truth. Okay, now when people claim that, just like Governor Connolly said he was shot in the back by a second shot. I present that evidence because he only heard 2 shots, and I was coming from shelter number 3. He said he got shot. He felt the blow in his back as he was turning to his left. I present my case as Governor Connolly was looking out to his right. It was not until after the fatal headshot, frame 315 of the Zapruder film, is when when Governor Connolly started turning off to his left. And then in frame 330 of the Zapruder film, we see a bullet impact in back of Governor Connolly's back, and then he falls into his wife's lap. Okay, fits the story that he told. He heard 2 shots. Only 2 shots he can hear from is from shelter number 3. He claimed he was looking out to his right. He was looking over to his right, and then as he was going around to his left, that's when he felt the blow in his back when he heard the second shot. So only 2 shots he heard was a fatal headshot to JFK, and then he starts turning around to his left. Then he heard the second shot and the blow into his back, which we see this, and it verifies his story in the Zapruder film. So you see what I'm saying? I don't want to make a long video, okay, and talk about the same thing over and over again. Okay, I just want to present this, just like when between these false stories, just like they claim they tore when they tore JFK's limo apart and they trashed and everything else. No, they didn't. I show evidence that they actually boxed up. Like here's the windshield. They boxed everything up that they took off of JFK's limo. Okay, and put it in evidence files. Okay, like I said, everybody has a story when it comes to JFK assassination, but it's not reality. It's a false claim and false stories. So everything that you're going to hear about the JFK assassination, watch about JFK assassination, and everything else is all false stories. It's more or less like a fiction story. That's why I always claim that if you wait another 100 years to put this case to rest, it's never going to happen, because by that time, they're going to think the whole JFK assassination was nothing but a false story made up, and a fiction story, because that's what everybody's turning it out to be, a fiction story, and losing a reality into a murder case. I said there's 2 gunmen inside of shelter number 3. Okay, I said it. But what I'm showing you to back it up, I'm showing you the Mormon photo. I'm showing you the Orville Nix film. I'm showing you the Bronson film. I'm showing you Darnell film. Okay, shots being fired from that location, gunmen with rifles in their hands and everything else. I'm showing and I'm presenting the evidence. I show the fatal headshot come from that shelter. I show the shot to Governor Connolly come from that shelter by the Zapruder film and other films as well. Everything that I present, I have photographic evidence to back it up, and everything I have fits the story by a lot of people that was told that day. Okay, that's the fact. That's the reality in the whole case of the JFK assassination. There was 5 gunmen there, and there was 13 shots fired. Reality, truth, fact, that's it. Because we have photographic evidence, and I have uncovered the photographic evidence to show all these shots and show these gunmen's locations and show these gunmen firing from these locations of their rifles. Okay, now where is the evidence to show the assassin behind the picket fence area? There is none. Where is the evidence to show there was shots coming from the overpass? There is none. Where's evidence to show there was a shot that came from inside the manhole cover? There is none. Where's the evidence to show there was shots coming from the south side of Grassy Knoll? There is none. Where's there any evidence to show that the shots came from Dow Tech's building? There is none. You see what I'm saying? There's no evidence to back up any of the stories that's told. None whatsoever. There is no exact evidence to back up any story that's told except for what I tell you. That's all. That's why I don't understand when it comes to research. Okay, a lot of people want to put me down and say bad things about me and everything else, but they're not understanding the facts. Is I'm not saying nothing that ain't true. I'm presenting evidence. I'm showing evidence. I said there's a gunman in this location, and I show him with a rifle. I show him firing from that location. I show where that bullet made contact with, and it all lines up, and it adds up. And then when you put even eyewitness accounts claiming this as well, and that's backing it up as well. So you see, everything I'm saying and everything I'm showing is reality, and it is fact, and it is true. Everything that else is told about the story of JFK and assassination is false. It's a fiction story because there is nothing to back it up. As I point out, where's the evidence to show there was a gunman behind a picket fence area? Now, I don't want to hear a story. I don't want to hear a story. I don't want somebody says, oh, this person claimed that he was the assassin. He took and shot JFK from behind a picket fence. There's no evidence to back it up. Just a story. Well, eyewitnesses claim that, they seen the shots come from the picket fence area. Okay, again, there is no, all we're hearing is a story. There is no evidence. Okay, again, there's no evidence. That's what I'm trying to point out. When you're working on a case, you cannot tell a story. You cannot present a story as evidence because it's going to be thrown out of court and everything else. But if you present an evidence and you have video footage of an assassin, him taking them shots, firing at, showing him with rifles and everything else, showing where them bullets made contact with. That's called photographic evidence. Then you can use it in the court, and people could be trialed at that, and they can use that. Okay, but other than that, you can't use it. Just like when I said to talk about the manhole cover shots, not only I present the evidence to show there was shots taken there and everything else, but even today, both bullet holes still can be seen today, 54 years later. Both bullet holes can still be seen. Think about that. You can go there and touch them today. Whoever lives in the Dallas area, go down there and see them bullet holes. There's the locations right there. Feel them. Take pictures of them. Show them on the net. Yeah, there's the bullet holes right there. Yeah, and they both line up to the rooftop of the county records building. Let everybody know that. Okay? Let everybody know that. So you see what I'm saying? No matter what people's going to say, they put me down all the time about my research. They say bad things about me. They make bad comments about me. They write blogs about me and everything else about how I'm either idiot or a fool or one thing or another, or a lot of other bad language, which I'm not going to say because I present evidence. Okay. If I didn't have any of this evidence to show, like I said, you would never even heard from me. You wouldn't even know nothing about me because, excuse me, I'm not in this research business to make friends. I would love to make friends, okay, but you can't make friends in research field because pure simple fact is, if you ain't part of that clique, okay, if you don't follow them and believe in the same things they believe, you're tossed down on the ear and they're going to say bad things about you, okay, because I present evidence to show Oswald was one of the assassins, okay. I present evidence there was actually more gunmen there, more shots taken and everything else. And because I got a letter this morning, three emails where people says, why doesn't the media pick you up on this? Because it's about the truth. Everything that we see on TV today, any reality shows, they're not reality. They're all scripted. Everybody knows this. Everything, ghost shows and everything else is all scripted. Okay, ghost shows, monster shows, Bigfoot shows, everything else. Uh, JFK assassination, documentaries, everything's scripted. Okay, there's no reality to it. They have the words, they tell you to practice these words. This is what we're going to say, and everything else, this is how we're going to put it, this is how we're going to edit, and everything else. There's a lot of editing done, there's no reality stuff. That's why I've always pushed about doing a documentary, and I would love to do that documentary if I had the fundage, but it's really going at a slow process right now. And then you got to take into consideration, you got to have time to be able to get the permits you need and talk to the people and buy the stuff you need, the equipment and everything else to do a proper, thoroughly documentary and stuff like that. And it's getting close to the point because right now it's January and I want to do it in either June or July of this year. Okay, and that's anywhere from 5 to 6 months from now, and it takes a few months just to even be able to get permits and permission and all this other stuff. So it's really putting a really hard time frame on it now at this point. I mean, I had to GoFundMe account out for over 6 months now, but still it ain't really getting that high. I mean, there's people made donations, which I do appreciate it. And I've been trying to get my book sales to go up, but they haven't been going up at all because of um, people. There is people out there actually stops people from trying to buy my book because they said, well, don't listen to him because he don't know what he's talking about because he has Oswald as one of the assassins and he won't have no guy in the Dow Tex building, so you shouldn't say nothing about, you shouldn't watch his research or anything else, or he ain't got the gunman over on the south side, or just because I don't have them over there doesn't mean they got the right to put me down and say bad stuff about me all the time because I don't say nothing bad about them. I don't sit there and keep on constantly saying anything bad about them because I always give every one of them credit because they're good researchers, and I don't blame the researchers because they're only basing their research on what's told to them. Okay, so I ain't saying nothing bad about them, but they're constantly saying bad stuff about me. And like I said, they blackball me from conferences and everything else because they don't want me to present this evidence. Because I present this evidence, then all of a sudden there goes their money train that's out the door. And I hate to keep on considering and thinking about that every single day, that knowing that the JFK assassination turned into a money-making industry for people. They're not worried about the reality no more. They're not worried about the truth. They're worried about another story they could sell this year. Then when next year comes, they're going to worry about trying to figure out another way to come up with a different story for next year to sell as well. But I just want to present the reality to this case and the real facts into this case. Like I said, okay, my research is based on facts and reality. Other people's research is basically based on a fiction story that's told to them, and they're going to still constantly believe in that. So I just want to present this and make this video here to separate some of that reality from that fiction that people puts out there. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Share this video so other people knows this information. Actually, the case has been solved. I closed books on this case here because I've already got the evidence, and everything that I proved shows this, everything that I found and locations of the gunman, who was behind everything else, all fits. I've already proved that. So to me, this case is actually closed. Okay, I make the videos and stuff like that so people knows this information as well, that people can't afford to buy the book. I go ahead and I make these video stuff so they know this information as well. But to me, actually, the case is closed. JFK assassination now is solved. and I can actually make that claim because I have the evidence to show what happened that day and who was behind it. Again, don't forget to tell your friends about us. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Uh, Share this video on social media and stuff. And you all have a pleasant day, because it feels good to finally say a case is solved and JFK assassination has been solved. God bless.